Hey, there's been a lot of talk. Trump's been sick with COVID, and I want to talk about something because I think so many of us have got this wrong. I don't want Trump to die of COVID. Um, so many people. I understand the intense, divisive, passionate politics right now, and there's so many on the left who very strongly don't want him to be president and to continue doing what he's doing and being who he is and all of that stuff. The way out of that is to vote. Is in this democracy that we have is to vote and to mobilize and to work toward that end if you want him out. But it's not to assassinate him or he gets COVID and to hope and wish that he would die. And I've had conversations with friends who very clearly want him absolutely to die from this. And I want to, that really disturbs me. I know we get passionate and really into politics and this is what I want. And there's so much behind why we are on either side, and some things are very deeply held. But it's a huge red flag to me that we've gotten to this point where that kind of hate is part, and I'm going to use that word hate because that's what it is. It's the same. You can't use hate on the left, hate and love on the left, and not include wanting this guy to die as part of the end that we don't want. Which is that this is like basic Christianity 101. Love your neighbor, don't hate them, don't wish for their death. Disagree with them fiercely, fight for what you believe and what's important to you, but wanting them to die, that is war and death. And that is, I think, and this is the value that I want to reflect, and this is just a little values piece. This is clearly not medical. But where it gets medical is hearing people say this, and I've been talking publicly about the presidents. I went on the news today and talked about it. Thank goodness he's getting better. You know, the doctor side of me, and somebody said he's a murderer, all these people that have died and all these things he's done, he's this horrible person. I've literally taken care of some of the worst criminals we have, total murderers, without a doubt. But my job as a doctor is to treat the person in front of me without any judgment. My role is to do what I can, use the tools I've got and the medicines and the diagnosis, do my best to take care of them as a human being. My role is never to pass any judgment, ever. And I worked at a hospital that took care of a state hospital for the criminally insane. So these would be these guys that, you know, were murderers, did some pretty horrible things, but then got off because they were insane and now are in kind of a maximum security insane asylum. And some of them were scary dudes. Like you would walk into the room and you'd go, wow, if this guy wasn't in chains with guards, he'd probably snap my neck in half. Just like that eerie feeling of these are bad dudes. It didn't change the care. The care is still, if the guy needs a CAT scan, he gets a CAT scan. We treat his pain. You know, if he needs surgery, it doesn't change. This is kind of like a bedrock of medicine, of being a doctor, that it makes me glad that this is the lens through which I see the world. And so Trump gets sick and becomes a patient in my eyes. And so it's the same reaction of, I hope he survives. And I hope November 3rd that the will of the American people and democracy speaks loudly and that the right thing happens then, whatever that is. Fight for your cause. But this desire for him to die of coronavirus, I find really disturbing. And if you're somebody, I mean, I think a lot of people have had these thoughts, and I get it, but I think that's not who we want to be. I really don't, either side, because there's going to be a Democrat and there's going to be another Republican, and this stuff is always going to go back and forth. I don't, it just really disturbs me that that is not becoming the best of who we are, either side. And you see this when Joe Biden, who's running, says, hey, speedy recovery to the president and his wife and everybody that's sick, right? For a second, drops the weapons of politics and is human and says, hey, I want to beat you in November, and I hope you get better. Michelle and Barack Obama said the same thing. Even Hillary said that Hillary and Bill Clinton, you know, who Trump beat and did not treat well at all. Hillary even says, you know, publicly, hey, I hope you get better. Yeah, it's the right thing to do. Sure, I'm sure there's spite and all kinds of feelings there. But the bottom line is that's what she said. Because I think that is who we are and what we should be as a people, regardless of the side. So I wanted to kind of come out and say that, and no, that doesn't mean anything about my politics, regardless of either side. That's what I would say for anybody who is sick. I would want them to survive and be well, and for the, you know, will of the American people come election time to be clearly articulated in the ballot. That's who we are. We're not assassins. You know, I want you guys really to think about that. We ought to be better than that. So there you go. This is going to be, it's a little bit of a soapbox, but I think it's needed so much now in this time of division and just so much animosity between sides. Don't give in to that kind of hate. All right. Thanks for listening.